Hi friends, David here from Learn Stage Lighting, and today I want to take a look at this little lighting console right here, the ADJ WMX WM1. Now this is a little console that's been on my radar for a while, and so I finally bought one, and I want to review it here for you with the perspective of somebody who's looking to use this for band or church lighting or something like that. Okay, we can talk about DJ lighting, but it's pretty obvious, and every other review out there on this console really looks at it through the realm of DJ lighting, and that's what it's designed for. That's what it's marketed for, and so you might think that it's not good for anything else, but I'm here to argue that it really could be good for a lot of different uses where you're just looking for a simple lighting console. You don't need it to be super complicated, but you want it to be quick. You want it to be intuitive for somebody to run. Maybe you've got somebody who's going to run it who's not a lighting person. You just show them a quick couple things and off they go. And you want them to be able to make something good. Okay? That's what this little console excels at. For those who might not be familiar, this is a German console called the WMX W1. ADJ is the US distributor for it. Okay, hardware-wise, it's really simple. So it's completely standalone. So when you see the price for it, which is really not bad, you know, it's got everything. You don't need a PC, you don't need a tablet, you don't need any of that. You literally just plug it in. It's got USB for power, and it can connect to a computer for some registration and some utility purposes. So it's got its power, it's got 4 DMX outputs, and they're 3535, so if you have 5-pin or 3-pin, it works. You can have multiple universes on this device, you can unlock them. But if you don't use multiple universes, right in the menu, you can set all 4 of them to output the same universe, and then you don't need a DMX splitter. So that's pretty cool. Build quality is really awesome on this, as you'll see. Like it feels like a really well-built piece. And works well. And so what I want to do here is kind of give you an introduction of like how it lays out and how I've figured out how to use it in a perspective where you're lighting a band or a church or a DJ setup or something like that. And keep in mind, I did a deep dive with this. I spent a few hours on it, really learning it, really figuring out the best way to do it. And then I haven't touched it for about 2 weeks. And so we'll see how much of that sticks. But no, seriously. So you basically have a couple sides to it. So you have this home screen, which is where it lands a lot. Okay? And whenever you see things on the screen here, you basically have your groups of lights, A, B, C, and D, or you can shift and BPM tap, yes, to get E, F, G, and H. So you have 8 groups of lights. Okay? In this case, I'm just using 4 and 1 for some upshot foggers. Okay, so these lights can be controlled and set up kind of on the left side, and then the right side are some more global, some more universal things that affect all of your lights. And so the cool thing about this is you get a knob at the top for your dimmer. You can unlock for $50 a DMX input option to bring in a simple lighting console and have fader masters for these groups of lights. But basically what you do is you set up different groups. So here I've got some pars in the back. You can see turning on and off with the dimmer there. Then B is these focus spots from ADJ. C is something. Oh, I think C is these ADJ Z4s in the front. They're not super bright. D are these ADJ Jolts, which love the unit, but they do kind of make the visualizer freak out because they're a lot of pixels. And then E is some upshot foggers, okay, that have LEDs, some Froggies ones. Okay, so those are my groups. So you basically start it up, and you have intensity control at the top here, and then you have a color effect that you can hit. You have a movement effect if that is an option in your fixture, and then you have a beam effect as well. Okay, and on all of these you can hit those, and you can define those to do different things. So the cool thing about this, and what really makes this console tick, is the fact that you patch your lights in and it pre-builds this page for you. Like, you get, just patching the lights, you can press some buttons and start to see some different things go on. So like the top one is like a flash button, and then it's a go to white, like a solo button, and then that color, that move, and that beam effect, if applicable. Of course, this first is the pars, so it doesn't have that move effect, but my other fixtures do. Okay, all of these effects that you have built in that you can play on these fixtures are BPM tapped. Okay, so you can constantly be changing that BPM. You can use an audio input to determine that BPM. It's flexible and is going to move with your music. Okay, now, so down the right side, you kind of have your setup side, meaning that you have all these different color effects, and you can set up these different color effects by selecting them and then starting to mess with the different size and speed, and you can set up a variety of effects. Okay, then you've got movement effects, same thing. You select what fixtures apply to each effect, you select the type of effect, and then you're able to make it go if you turn it on, like so. And so you're able to bring in and define some different effects here. As you can see here, I can run all sorts of different effects. I can select my different lights, do different groupings of the lights. It's really powerful. Okay, then we come down to the static options. So say we go back here and we turn off our movement and we go to our static color. Now this is where this guy's pretty cool for setting things up for like a band or a church. Okay, you've got predefined colors for each group built in, so you can go between those. They work on a color picker. And you can make different color looks with your different lights, but it gets cooler than that, okay? So say, for example, we just have this first row of lights, and we turn this knob, and instead of saying single, now it says flash, okay? That's gonna flash the color. But it gets more interesting. So here we have an every other showing on the screen. So now I select two colors, I get a 2 color every other look, 3, I get 3, 4, I get 4, 5, I get 5, and I can even tap this to go to color 6 through 10. Now we've got a rainbow. Okay, and then I can change. Maybe I want that in to out, vice versa, etc. So there's all these different options. This is what I find really cool about this, is you can literally grab, 2 colors here and quickly go, oh, do I want it to look like that? Do I want it to look like that? Like that, like that, like that. There's all these different ways you can just spread them across your lights really quickly and build some different looks and play them back. So yeah, they designed this for like a club environment. So that's how colors work. Position is fairly similar, where, let's just do something nice with our colors. Position is similar, where for any moving heads, there are predefined positions. Now you can edit these. Okay, so you hit shift, you hit the button, now you're in an editor with pan and tilt control, or this is a touch screen. Okay, you do have to tap the button again to save it. If you just tap out or press something else, it will not save. So that's helpful too as well. Okay, so there's all these positions. You can name them. You can you've got 10 of them. So you can go with all these different positions. They guess at them and they typically get you something pretty nice. But you can totally go ahead, define your own positions in here all day long. Gobos, for any light that has gobos, they're going to pre-populate in there. They're going to have images if the fixture profile has images, which is super cool. And then there's Live Edit. So Live Edit is the place in the WMX one where people have a lot of questions and they go, okay, how do I get to the prism? Like I can't get into that in color position or gobo. I can't get to the prism. Well, in Live Edit, you go select a button and you can choose first what fixtures go in that button. Then you hit Edit. Now you've got every DMX channel. You can set a actual DMX value, or for something like a color wheel, you toggle from value to feature, and now you can see, and I hope you can see it on the screen, you can see the individual options on that color wheel, again, if it's in the fixture profile. And it is for a lot of name brand fixtures. Okay? And so, again, shift, boom, you can name it, you can place it. So the Live Edit's the place where you can do that, where you go, okay, I do want a button for my prism. Now I've got a button for my prism. now I've got the ability to rotate that prism and get to things that you can't get into in the other parts of the console. Okay, now if I were running this for a band or for a church, I would primarily run a couple different places. So there's the live edit, and these are places where you can define values for certain parts of fixtures. You can also do a DMX capture where you've built something in here with different colors, and then you've built stuff with some positions, and you can actually capture that here in the live edit. You can grab a new button, you can go to select your fixtures, and you can actually tab, group all, just smack it, record DMX. Now I saved exactly what I've got there in the visualizer to my fixtures. Tap it again, now that is saved. Okay, these can also have fade times to them. So I can shift, and then there's a fade time. Select all, edit, and maybe there's a fade time somewhere, I believe, in here. So anywho, these are really cool and just give you the ability. You can also turn it into a flash button like I just did, and so now you're able to switch between these, do all sorts of different things, build these looks together. So again, if I were a band or a church, the live edit for a simpler setup is gonna have me being able to build different cues out of these other building blocks. The preset is gonna get even a little more powerful. So actually the live edit I don't think have fade times, but the presets do. And so the presets, if we hit a shift hit, a blank one, we can go into its editor, and that basically saves whatever's being output. It's not just static stuff, but it's moving stuff as well. And so if you go in here and you build, that perfect ballyhoo right there, you go to preset, you go right here, shift hit, give it a name, I'm not going to. Now I've got that saved in there, okay? And so now I can go back to the home screen, I can turn all my stuff off, and I can go back to preset, boom, and I can fire that at will. I can go to a different preset. And those presets can have fade times, okay? So that can be super helpful as well. You can have them even go through the different presets and kind of bounce through them at certain time intervals. And there's 5 pages of these buggers. And so if I were running this guy for a band, I would probably spend a lot of my time between this preset page, having things built and labeled really well, so that I could literally just hand this off to somebody and say, hey, things are labeled, this is this kind of look, that's that kind of look, and they can go and have at it and, press buttons to the music, and, maybe you do a page for slow songs, a page for medium songs, a page or 2 for fast songs, and, somebody who's never run lights before on a smaller setup can go ahead, and just press buttons and do things to the music. They can tap the BPM away, and so that they're always in time and things are good to go. Then this is the cool part. These global buttons on the side can really help you a lot. So say you're lighting a band and they like to do some little noodling at the end of each song. They like to do the little open and strobe thing. The woof button, as they call it here in ADJ logo, gives you that look on the stage. The strobe button makes everything strobe. The blinder button turns everything white. Okay? The speed button allows you to, I believe, half the speed. Is that what it is? I believe it halves the speed, or it doubles the speed temporarily, so it's like a speed override. Blackout, blacks out. And then smoke, boom, runs any foggers, any hazers that you've got set up. And all of these are somewhat configurable. So like the smoke, for example, I have set as a toggle. So you press it on, press it off. But I can switch it. It can just be a flash, or it can be a 1 second, or a 5 second, or a 10 second. So you press that button, you get that much fog, or, there's a lot of different ways that you can run it. So I know this is starting to go long. It's just sort of an introduction and a general review. But this WMX W1, I would say, has the potential for a small venue with bands, a church that doesn't need a really complicated setup and wants things to be easy, you know, a band or like that where you just, hey, color effects, boom, you know, press, choose a few colors, and now you're running effects, right? For somebody that wants simple control, they don't want to just patch their fixtures and then have to program a bunch of stuff. They want to work with something that's pre-programmed for them. You know, this would be a really good look. As I mentioned, you know, with your different groups of lights, you do have dimmers here. And for each set of lights, you can turn those on and off. But you can also, for 50 bucks, pay the company, activate the DMX input, have a little fader board. And so now you've got your 8 groups that you can run faders up and down for. That's another great option. So, I hope you liked this review rather, of the ADJ WMX W1. WMX one, sorry. I know this is the console that we're going to be doing more with here on the channel because I really do like it. Is it for everyone? No, it's not for everyone. But if you're in those kind of throw and go situations a lot where you just need to light a band or you just need a handful of buttons for some volunteers to press, you need to keep it simple, the WMX W1 may be a really good choice for you. And if you're a DJ and you want something that you can set up with a bunch of presets and be able to change to your music throughout your night, then it's definitely a good option. So, if you're looking for more info, check out its product page over at Learn Stage Lighting Gear. You can always shoot us an email, let us know how we can best help you. As always, we're here for you at LearnStageLightingGear.com. Thanks so much for watching, and let us know in the comments below, is there anything you wanted to learn about this console that we didn't cover here? Probably a lot, because it's new, and we're not going to spend an hour in this video going through everything, but we would love to do that in the future if there's interest. So let us know if there's interest. I'm going to get back to playing with this thing. Have a great day. Bye.